Hello again, Emga Kabagan, Kuya Kababligan here with another tale to make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. This story, it's one that every Filipino might relate to, especially those who've grown up with a sense of dread passed down from the places we live in. I share this tale with the hope that it will remind you to pay attention to your surroundings and maybe even inspire you to share your own stories. This is what I call office terror. It was my first scary experience in my first job. Like many of you, I ventured into the chaotic world of call centers. I was lucky enough to get hired by one of the largest in the country, working in the heart of Makati. I'll keep the name of the building vague to protect its reputation, but let's just say it's named after a color. Imagine it as you will. The training days passed uneventfully, with me meeting new friends and learning the twists and twangs of English. Of course, as with any office, there were stories. Stories of crying women in bathroom stalls, apparitions in the halls at 3 a.m., and many more whispered horrors. None of these happened to me, so I brushed them off as rumors. But looking back, I should have paid more attention. Months passed, and nothing out of the ordinary happened during my shifts. I worked the graveyard, where only a few people rode the elevators at such late hours, but something always puzzled me. Every time I took the elevator from the 33rd floor, I'd always notice one or two other passengers getting on at the lower levels. The strange part, whenever someone would ask, "Is this elevator going down?" they'd always respond with, "No, it's going up." It became a habit so consistent that I couldn't help but ask one night why they kept saying that. The answer they gave sent a chill through my bones. A friend of theirs had taken the elevator alone one night after work. The elevator stopped at the 13th floor, a floor that didn't exist. Distracted by her phone, she didn't notice the oddity, and, when asked if the elevator was going down, she replied casually, "Yes, going down." Seconds later, the elevator alarm blared, followed by a blood-curdling scream. When the doors finally opened at the 12th floor, she was found catatonic, unable to speak. Her friends said she was never the same, the few words they managed to get out of her. Never say you're going down. The story quickly spread through the office, with rumors about ghosts, lost souls, and people being trapped on non-existent floors until they lost their minds. But to those who knew the truth, it was clear, never say you're going down. I could have shrugged it off as another spooky tale, except, well, I didn't, not after what happened next. One night, as a group of us were heading up to start our shift, one of my coworkers decided to test the story. He thought it would be funny to answer, "Yes, going down," if someone asked, just for laughs. We all laughed it off too, but the opportunity presented itself when the elevator dinged, and the doors slid open. No one noticed that the display showing the floor number was blank. A man stood at the entrance, his face partially obscured by a dark hood. His skin was unnaturally pale, and all you could see was his mouth twisted into a smirk. True to his word, my colleague answered, "Yes, going down." The man didn't get in, just smiled wider and let the doors close. The mood quickly shifted, we all chuckled nervously, but the laughs didn't last. The elevator lights began to flicker. Someone screamed, then another, and another. The laughter was replaced with sheer terror as the entire cabin was plunged into darkness. The elevator stopped, we were at the 33rd floor, but the doors wouldn't open. The next thing I heard was a voice, deep, guttural, and inhuman. "Going down," the elevator screeched, as it began to drop. Panic gripped us all, we were falling fast. The sensation of my stomach lurching up into my throat, the terror of knowing we were seconds from death. Screams echoed, hands clawing at the walls, people praying to God as the elevator plummeted. Time felt distorted, like we were falling forever, but I knew it was only seconds. Then, with an ear-piercing screech, the emergency brakes engaged. We jolted to a stop between floors. The lights flickered back on, and we all scrambled, clawing at the doors, desperate to escape. Somehow, we pried them open, and I'll never forget the sight. We were between two floors, 12th and something else. We couldn't see a number for the upper floor, but the lower one was clearly labeled 12th. Security arrived and helped us out one by one. The women were sobbing, the men shaken and pale. As I stepped out, a familiar ding echoed through the elevator shaft. I looked up, the doors above us had opened slightly, and standing there was the man in the hood, smirking once again. I rushed out, not daring to look back. As we gathered our wits, I realized the horrifying connection. We were on the 12th floor, but the floor above us, the one I couldn't see the number for, it had to be the 13th. That was where the man was. The next day, I requested a transfer. HR declined. So, I quit on the spot. I've never set foot in that building again, and I never will. This is just one of many stories in my life. If you enjoy these tales, please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, keep your third eye open, and always respect the unknown.